can we just get real for a second? The point about the scheme for Ukrainians and Hong Kongers is that it is a defined scheme for people from those countries. You have so far not said what your upper limit on the number of refugees would be. Michelle is absolutely right in that if this is allowed to stand, it establishes a legal precedent for people to use the Ukrainian scheme to come into Britain. So there are 86 million displaced refugees around the world. What is the upper limit that you would like to set for Britain when it comes to refugees? You talk about humanity. I haven't once tonight heard you say anything about the £15.3 billion this country gives to countries overseas, including Gaza, through international aid. You're acting as though we're this evil regime with no heart whatsoever. We are. It's just that the British people, understandably, are saying they've done enough. 400,000 refugees since 2021.
I think it's amazing that you think that Keir Starmer and Kemi Badenoch speak for the British people. But I'm not saying that the British people have done bad things. Far from it.
What's the limit?
I think that the British... I'll come to that. I think that the British people...
Well, hang on. Get to his point, because I haven't got all day, have I? So he's asking you, what is your...
How many do we take on top of the 400,000 since 2021?
So I think that we should come to an agreement with other countries in the other richer countries.
100,000? 50,000?
Conceivably. It depends what other countries...
Another 100,000 refugees?
Conceivably. It depends,
for how long?
It depends what other countries are doing, and it depends what role that we can play in ending the conflicts that are present. For example, take the conflict in Gaza. We shouldn't be selling them arms. We shouldn't be flying surveillance.
Those are separate issues. Let's just focus on the refugee issue.
They're not separate issues. Why do you think they're refugees? They're refugees because they are being bombed. They are being bombed in some part by fighter jets that are in part built here.
Israel...
The surveillance...
I'm sorry, James. Israel did not start this war. This war was started when a neighbouring regime invaded...
What happened on what was happening on the 6th of October?
Hamas
what was happening on the 5th of October?
Israel.
What was happening on the 4th of October?
You want to talk about women and kids? We start talking about the women and kids massacred on the 7th. This is such a skewed interpretation of what's happened.
No,
to go back to the question of what is taking place with the judge and this decision, we've taken 400,000 refugees since 2021. Brits out there will say, we've taken enough. We can help through humanitarian aid and foreign aid, but we've taken our fair share. And to be frank, the reason they're comfortable with Ukrainians and Hong Kongers, I would suspect, is because unlike refugees from Gaza, OK, large majorities of those refugees aren't supporting a fanatical Islamist terrorist organisation like Hamas, which all the surveys and polls from Gaza shows is the case. I think we've got enough of those in our country already, to be frank. We don't need another 100,000 of them.